Hello and welcome to all. We are moving one step back, down to L, the last character from down there, Vaggie. As I've established, my idea for the exterminators, it was a lot easier to design Vaggie with that as a basis in mind. The one character truly between heaven and hell. I have major issues with Vaggie. Not because I hate her, but because of her story. At least the way it's executed makes little to no sense. Her design is pretty alright, and it's nice to look at, I'd say. It's not saying much. And I like the pilot design a lot more because she had her own color palette and the vibe to her was a little bit different, but the show's design works well in the context of her wearing a uniform of the hotel, although it feels like she's the only one wearing a uniform, while the rest of the supposed staff isn't, but well. My biggest problem with the design is that the Moth theme is only concentrated in her hair, and there are no angelic themes visible with her at all. In my take, instead of her wings being completely taken, they were only partially pulled off due to the size, the muscles, the mere idea of harming an angel being so far gone from anyone's mind, the mere attempt was baffling, and that these major parts could have been ripped off at all is very impressive. The bone structure actually is remaining, while some feathers are there, the bases, the overall trauma to the remainder of the wings makes them utterly useless. The unique pattern of the exterminator wings gone, only having the whitish gray feathers left behind makes it hard to draw the conclusion of her being one. Overall, they are making a lasting impression both to herself, but also to others, as one notices these heavy bones protruding from her back, but not being able to see that those were actually wings once. She purposefully lets them hang low, both to her having her center of weight being further back and imitate the weight of the actual wings she used to have on her back, but also to hide the remainder of the feathers between her grown out hair, making them truly disappear as they have almost the exact same shade of whitish gray. Moving on to the next angelic feature left behind, her halo. In the show it was just taken away. I honestly almost forgot about it because it was so brief, it was so quick and barely visible in the few seconds shot that there was. In my design and rewrite, the thick star-like halo has been broken apart, the eye-like shape at the back of her head splintered away, the two halves deeply jammed into her shoulders, making them disappear halfway and causing constant aching, the natural curve they had slowly straightening out over time, further distancing themselves from the halo-esque look. The floating eye is trapped beneath her head. This was a conscious choice of hers, once again to disguise herself between these hellish creatures. Delving deeper into disguising herself part of my redesign, she, as an angel, has no apparent theme of a moth. The animal itself stands for transformation, which fits her theme oddly well, and I doubt this was chosen on purpose in the show, but one can hope. She chose to disguise herself as a moth-like creature, starting with the wings being hidden by her hair, which she clinically keeps track of to have a specific shape, to hint at a moth that's hanging on a wall. While she doesn't have actually moved pairs of arms, she made some with mannequin limbs and cloth that she wears attached to a second coat on top of her normal uniform. She doesn't need the second coat. It's highly unpractical for her even, but with this she can keep the illusion of having an additional pair of arms like an insectoid creature would. Along with that, she wears gloves to hide the fake hands. Due to the moth theme she chose for herself, she also wears fake fur that is almost her hairs and feathers colors. She tried to color match it to the best of her abilities to make it seem more natural. She wears it around her neck and her wrists and ankles, of course for the looks of a moth, but also to firstly hide her halo further and hide the seams that connected the fake hands and gloves to the fake limbs and coat so they don't fall off. Instead of a traditional tie, she wears fake moth antenna as a tie she crafted herself. As the exterminators had a night theme to them, stuck in old time, stuck in glory, she advanced as she stayed in hell instead of standing still. There's an army kind of setting to her still, but at this point in time more so with the vibes of the early 1900s, a lot less grand, but not less intimidating. As she learned from her mistake, her back being open, she's covering it at all times, almost paranoidly so. Her hair, her clothes, her second coat, the fur even as it covers some of her upper back. She never turns her back to anyone at this point and easily gets upset if someone tries to approach her from behind as well. In my take, she still loses an eye to some extent, but not because she got stabbed and lost it due to that, but because while she scrambled to hide her halo, the small eye part burned her hands as she grasped to hide it. As she was so shocked to feel even more pain, she pulled her hands back and deadly burned her eye to some extent, turning her half blind. Even more confused and aching, she barely managed to hide it beneath a random hat she found as she was stranded in hell. Eventually, she managed to put together her final outfit alongside her final hat, of course. But this is another reason she wears gloves, to hide the burn marks from the halo. The halo in her shoulders aches. It also burns, but due to the burning, it practically cauterizes the wound at all times, making it impossible for infection. And over time, she will get used to the pain to some extent as well. That will be like my major notes to the design choices I've made, her visual look, and giving her some more autonomy in this entire setting. But there's of course more. While I sprinkled some kind of lore here and there with the design already, there are major plot holes with her that I can't stand them. And it's ridiculously hard to rewrite it while keeping the major lore beat, but I really tried, and I'm quite happy with what I came up with. Mainly her betrayal of angel kind. In the show, she had a little bit doubt because of a childlike sinner. She immediately got mutilated and left behind, and then she did not know that angels could be harmed. Like, what? So, in my rewrite, she was disliked by many, if not most of the exterminators, especially Lute. As Vaggie was Adam's favorite, she felt a lot of hatred towards her. As Lute felt like she deserved all the praise Vaggie got, Lute deserved to be Adam's second in command, not Vaggie. Lute was the first of the exterminators who felt hate, who felt true anger and envy. The first exterminator who sinned more or less. She lied, she deceived, and convinced the other exterminators to hate Vaggie too, to avoid her, to make her look bad. Lute wanted to get rid of her once and for all and tried the absolute worst, the thing that was believed to be impossible. She made plans with the other exterminators to shun Vaggie, to somehow lock her out of heaven, to make her disappear. She didn't tell the other exterminators the full plan, just as much to make her have enough time along with Vaggie to try the most ridiculous thing an angel ever could have thought of: hurt another angel. As the next extermination was coming to a close, Lute got Vaggie off herself. In a moment of calm, as Vaggie was surrounded by corpses of sinners and innocent hellborn, Lute approached her from behind, snatched Vaggie's sword off her hand, and cut into her wings. As she saw golden liquid flow, she went mad, grasped the wings and pulled as hard as she could. Vaggie was totally unprepared. Her large wings, the mask, making it impossible for her to see behind her. She fell to the ground as agony shot through her wings, her body, for the very first time. It was unlike anything else. She knew exhaustion from training, being moderately tired out at most. But this was beyond her comprehension. She froze, she screamed, she sobbed, and her mind raced, unable to form a coherent thought. After minutes of Lute's struggle to tear Vaggie's wings off, the final rip tore through the air, and most of her wings got fully detached. Lute's rage and adrenaline-filled strength, the unimaginable, both traumatized in their own way, fell into silence as shock settled into their very core. Lute kept Vaggie's sword and took the evidence, the separated wings, with her. As she hurriedly gathered the other exterminators and returned back to heaven, she disposed of the remains and never dared to tell anyone that angels indeed were able to be wounded. She came up with lies upon lies to hide the truth. While all of this was happening over years and years and years, and finally came to a climax with this confrontation of Lute with Vaggie. Adam wasn't aware of this. He didn't know of any of this, of how Lute felt, how Vaggie was being avoided and hated on by the other exterminators, and of course Lute didn't dare to tell him. Somehow, she did manage to become second in command, replacing Vaggie, just like she wanted. Vaggie, now left behind, in shock, her voice hoarse for the very first time in her life, unimaginable pain convulsing through her back. She barely managed to gather herself and hide behind the piles of corpses she was the reason for. After passing out as the adrenaline subsided, she would manage to have bandaged herself up. She couldn't believe what had happened. She was alive, but all her views of existence got messed up. She denied it. She couldn't believe and make sense of what had happened. She gaslit herself into thinking that she was on a secret mission to infiltrate hell and get rid of the most dangerous and powerful sinners. She was so convinced that she basically forgot what actually happened. She got rid of her armor to stay hidden. She got herself disguised. She did her very best to gather information to recover, to stay on the mission that never existed. Year after year passed, extermination after extermination passed, and she slowly would have grasped that the angels wouldn't take her back, that she was stuck in hell. She didn't dare to ever reveal that angels could get hurt, scared of what could have happened if the truth was brought to light. She suppressed it so deep down that she indeed would have gotten genuinely surprised at this information when it was revealed once again to her by someone else. else well. And eventually she met Charlie. Eventually she would have realized that sinners are just humans who needed help, most of them anyway. She learned how to support Charlie in her goal to redeem sinners, eventually fall in love with her and abandon her never-existent mission. And those will be my major notes to my design choices and major rewrite of Vaggie. I hope I explained everything so that it makes sense to you guys too. Feel free to ask me anything, I'm always glad to answer, and I hope you have a good time with the rest of the time lapse.
Shall die with my heart on a trigger. They say before you start a war, you better know what you're fighting for. Well, baby, you are all that I adore. If love is what you need, a soldier I will be. I'm an angel with a shotgun, fighting till the war's won. I don't care if heaven won't take me back. I'll throw away my faith, babe, just to keep you safe. Don't you know you're everything I have? And I wanna live, not just survive tonight. Sometimes to win, you've got to sin. Don't mean I'm not a believer. And Major Tom will sing along. Yeah, they still say I'm a dreamer. They say before you start a war, you better know what you're fighting for. Well, baby, you are all that I adore. If love is what you need, a soldier I will be. I'm an angel with a shotgun, fighting till the war's won. I don't care if heaven won't take me back. I'll throw away my faith, babe, just to keep you safe. Don't you know you're everything I have? And I wanna live, not just survive tonight. With a shotgun, fighting till the war's won. I don't care if heaven won't take me back. I'm an angel with a shotgun, fighting till the war's won. I don't care if heaven won't take me back. I'll throw away my faith, babe, just to keep you safe. Don't you know you're everything I have? And I want to live, not just survive. And I'm gonna hide my way tonight. You better know what you're fighting for. Well, baby, you are all that I adore. If love is what you need, a soldier I will be.